Greetings, welcome to the stream. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope everybody is good. I hope everyone is doing well. Give me just a second. Hello, welcome. Sorry, Poppy is climbing around the office just now and is already causing chaos. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It is good to see everybody. She's just stood on a drum that's making a noise. Just a bonky. Hello, welcome in. Poppy will settle down in a second, and then we can get the camera on the go. Welcome. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I hope everyone had a good break. Oh no, she's leaving. Oh no. Poppy will be back. Poppy will return. I hope everybody had a good break. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope it wasn't too much of a drag. It's my first day back at work today. I kind of gave myself a proper break, which was definitely needed. But I've had to kind of hit the ground running today, which is very, very exciting. And it's nice to be back at work, and it's nice to be streaming again. It's nice to be kind of back making stuff, and I'm excited to be making stuff. So it's good to see so many people in chat. Karao Kunzite, hello. Kieran Hingston, hello. Verdant Gurge, hello. Sassy Catastrophe, welcome. Fave and Beloved Menace reporting in. Good, glad to hear it. Good Time Zone, hello. Metasweet Magic, Backglime, hello. Welcome. Enwich Cat Possum, very good. Welcome, good to see you. Nimsy, look at me finishing my PowerPoint on time to watch the stream. Incredible, thank you. Well done, congratulations. The newest of years right now, absolutely. Cat had a seizure yesterday, but is better now. I'm glad to hear your cat is doing better. That's never fun. My dog has seizures, and I know how quick they can come back round from them. Poppy will be back. She's been very demanding today. So jelly bean break already. My goodness, I'll save that for when I'm not doing any talking. So Poppy's been very demanding today. So today's the first day of shoot for my partner Sarah on her feature film. And basically what's kind of happened is that we had talked about it, and we're very much just like, we're going to have to I'm very much going to have to sort of become the stay-at-home spouse for a month, which I'm okay with. So it's meant today there's been a lot of kind of organizing and getting things ready, and done lots of cooking today. So I made some banana bread, and then I cooked a big batch of stuff. She's not back from shoot yet, but I imagine she'll probably be back while we're streaming, but I had to get some food ready for her. So there's been a lot of that. So but while I've been doing that, Poppy was just like, oh, you doing stuff, you doing care tasks, what about me? And she's been rolling around and being very demanding. So, also because as well, Sarah's been having to get up. Sarah had to get up today about 6 o'clock, and she's having to do that every day for the next sort of 15 to 18 days. And so it means Poppy's up earlier, which means she wants food earlier, which means I have to get up earlier, and I don't like it. Yes, everybody wave at Tobias. I got a guitar over Christmas. Fantastic. I'm learning guitar. My fingers are mad at me, but it's been really fun. Yes, once you get through that, once you've got your calluses, you'll open up a whole new world of expression. It's great. And also keep up with it as well, because because they do soften up. It was my first day back too, and I got scissor lift trains, which is very exciting but very cold. That's really cool. But yes, it seems to be cold everywhere, which is very strange. I polished my script. Good to hear. Enrich Cat Possum, well done. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear everybody is doing so well. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see you all again. So today, how is the snow situation everywhere? Well, it seems to have passed Glasgow by. We had some frost. We had a tiny little bit of snow on the hills, but yeah, it's been kind of mild in Glasgow, which makes me think either we've missed it or it's not arrived yet. So I did have like a slight thing the other day. So I went round to a friend's house who lives nearby. I had a board game night. It was really lovely. But I was going by myself, and normally I'd walk. I'd just be like, you know what, I'll go for a walk. It's like a 10-minute walk away. It's gonna be fine. But then I sort of started walking and realized it was really icy, and I was like, you know what? Screw it, I'm going to take the car. So I drove, because by that point it was like 7 o'clock in the evening, so the roads were kind of fine. But what happened? And also, this was only the third time I've driven entirely by myself unsupervised. So I was like, this is a big moment. This is a big deal. So drove there. But what happened was, while I was at my friends playing board games, having a really good time, the ice and frost that had been on the car and on the road melted and then refroze. So I got to drive back on some incredibly slippy roads, which was an interesting time. But and that is a nice little segue into what we're going to be working on over the next few weeks. So at the last month we made a you got alive though. Did other people like it was there was nobody about, so everybody was everything is fine. Everything was fine. Yeah. I think the weird thing was locking the car and then walking away from it. There was this weird moment of like, I can just leave that there and it's fine. Like I'm allowed to do that. Like, it'll still be there when I get back. Like, because I still felt responsible for it. It was a very strange feeling. But anyway, so last month, we made a piece together. We made a piece reflecting on the new year, and it was kind of the first in what I'm going to kind of spend my year doing. Where at the start of each month, I'm going to be starting a new project. I'm going to open up a blank project file, and by the end of the month, we'll have made like a little experimental audio piece. Technically, we're going to be doing two this month, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the cool thing is that people who are on the Tin Can Audio Discord are able to vote on what gets made next. So in December, I put 3 options up in the Tin Can Audio Discord, and basically said, look, whichever one of these, I'm going to make all 3 of them at some point. But I was very much just like, whichever one gets the most votes is the one I'll make first. And the Discord surprised me. So I gave the Discord 3 options. I said, look, either you can have another little documentary about being trans and being non-binary, and being non-binary, to add to the 2 other documentaries I've made so far about being trans. Why not make a third? Let's make it a trilogy. You can have one which is like a very nerdy sound thing, and then there was the third option, the third sort of wildcard option, and you went for the wildcard option. Which I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it, chat. But well done. I'm kind of proud of you, honestly. I wanted to join, but somehow never got an invite. Well, so if you want into the Tin Can Audio Discord, the way to do, if you are subscribed to this Twitch channel and you are connected, you've connected your Discord account to your Twitch account, you'll be able to you'll get a little notification saying you can join, or you can sign up via Ko-fi, which I need to review at some point. That's on my to-do list for this year, is to kind of overhaul that. Mattis Martigan, hello, happy new year to you too. It is good to see you. So we you didn't give us an option for Sonic. There will be Sonic at some point. I forgot the Ko-fi link. Oh, there is a I forgot. I had the Ko-fi link turned off this whole time. There it is. You know what it is? I turned it off for the Camlin stream because it felt. You never gave us an option for Sonic. I did a piece ages ago. Like, I'm talking years at this point, talking about sound effects, and I used Sonic the Hedgehog as an example to give you an idea of how long ago this was. This was when the first this was when the first Sonic film came out, so a long time ago. But yeah, so I will almost certainly be making something about Sonic at some point. But first of all, I need to see if this idea works. I need to be sure. I need to be certain of myself. But yeah, so the wildcard option was a piece about learning or relearning to drive as an adult. Yeah, that was the one that won, which was delightful. And so we've got a couple of this is going to sort of be a sort of admin-y sort of collecting, like, research but also planning stream tonight. We are still going to listen to some audio, and we are still going to do some editing stuff, but for the most part we are going to be kind of planning more than anything else. So the idea is, I have my first driving lesson this week, so this feels apt. Amazing! You see, this is something that I found. So when I was relearning to drive, I found myself relearning to drive and going through that experience of being in my 30s and relearning how to drive, because I got my license when I was 18 and then just didn't have a car until quite recently. So it was quite a strange experience. It was a lot of stuff. I was very much like, I'm not really sure. I came out of it feeling slightly different to how I was expecting to, and then I'm also just by happenstance, I happened to be surrounded by people who were kind of doing similar things, who were kind of also relearning or learning for the first time, and but for different reasons, for different interesting reasons. And so I kind of thought, this could be interesting to turn into a piece. So I'm looking forward to putting it together. I'm curious to see how it comes in. I'd be interested to see how you research. I tried navigating Internet Archive to edit video and make fun little content, but I was so very lost. We will be talking about that. We will absolutely be talking about that, because I think it's really freaking cool. But I'll talk about that when we get there. Do you drive manual or auto trans? Well, I drive the car manual, but I think also technically manual trans as well, I suppose. I don't really know, but I drive a car manually. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be making. So we have the thing we're going to be doing today mostly is that I downloaded a whole bunch of I had a whole bunch of archive driving films that I thought we could go through and see if we could find some interesting kind of little clips we can use for kind of scene setting and for incidentals and things. Most of these are from the 50s and 60s, but I also have one that's from the 70s. That's all about dangerous driving, which I thought could be kind of interesting as well. So this is kind of going to be part of our research tonight. And we're going to talk about how I got these, where I got them from, and then talk about and then kind of find some clips. Do you have a clutch pedal or lever? Oh yeah, it's a clutch. So I'm driving the car manually, like with gears and things. I learned that's how I learned. I think it's very much a standard thing in the in the UK. I think is to learn manual. Yeah. My baby brother just had his first driving lesson too. What a coincidence! I guess it's just the season. You see, the thing is, I think because I learned to drive when I was 18, driving was just never a thing I thought about. Like, it was just like I've got my license. It's a thing I'd done, you know, and yeah. So and I guess I never really thought about it much after that until I was relearning how to drive. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. My mum recently learned how to drive in her 40s. She tried to learn as a youth and was able to, but the test nerves kept getting to her, so she decided not to pursue it. Then I became disabled and public transport became inaccessible to me, so she wanted to relearn to be able to drive me places as my carer, and it's helpful for other things as well now that she can. That's really cool. This is the thing I'm kind of interested in is the reasons why people are why people have learned to drive, or why they didn't learn to drive initially, and why they're kind of learning to drive just now. that's what we're going to be doing. I have 4 people that I've confirmed for interviews, which is really cool. The fact that I've already got that confirmed is great. I'm going to be doing those interviews hopefully over the next couple of weeks. There's definitely one that has to happen after the 14th, and then there's another one which is going to have to happen at the weekend. But the other thing I'm going to do this tomorrow night. Is tomorrow night I'm going to tomorrow evening, I'm going to take my recorder, get in the car and drive around and record all my narration while I'm driving. So we need to plan out what I'm going to talk about tonight. So we'll get that ready to go. So it means on Wednesday we can be cutting tape. And then next week, next week we'll be cutting interview tape and then starting to pull the piece into some sort of shape. And kind of see how we're doing. Ollie, hello, welcome. Lovely to be here. Only half an hour because D&D. I was wondering. I did because we were chatting earlier and you said you were about to start D&D. I'm so phobic of driving. It is scary. This is the thing. It is a scary thing, and I think it's something that I'm hoping will come up in interviews, because I think when you're relearning when you're an adult, it's so much scarier because I think you're just so much more aware of your own mortality. I'm in my 40s and I feel very old you saying this. Have not had kids. I'm in my 30s, so like I get it. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so driving is pretty common, so this perspective will be interesting to experience. Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to be a very like UK centric little piece, just for sort of just because of timings and things. And also, I quite like the idea of keeping it quite a sort of smaller kind of, because I think it is going to be a very sort of a smaller sort of piece. All of this stuff though is American, sadly. Not sadly, it's just in terms of like culture. The thing about driving is you have to do it at least every once in a while, or you get stress streams of being in car accidents. I mean, I think it's good to kind of to like. One of the big things is that I'm very much just like, no, I need to like I have to force myself to put myself in situations where I have to drive, because the thing is that like when I moved to Glasgow, or wherever I've moved to in Glasgow, I've lived here since 2016. I've always been near a train station, or I've had good access to like a bus route. So I've never really, you know, if I've wanted to go anywhere, I've taken the bus, or I've taken the train, or I've walked. So I'm very much just like, right, I like, so I'm very much like, right, okay, I will make excuses for myself to go driving, so I will get better at it. And this is one of them. This is very much one of them. So that's the plan. That's the plan for the next couple of weeks. I do have a task for you, chat. I have something that I want to ask of you. So for the last documentary that we did about New Year, I asked chat and people on Discord to submit your reflections for the piece. And I thought that was really cool. I loved when I did that for Anamnesis, and then I loved doing it for this piece as well. I will be putting together like a montage soon. It's very much just kind of for this. But this is a separate thing, so it's not going to be about the driving documentary at all. What I want to do is I want to make like an opening little sting, or a sort of like a little opening thing to kind of tie these pieces all together for the podcast feed. So if you are interested, if you would like to be a part of this little montage of voices, if you type in the command tiny, you'll get a link to the request folder, and I would like a recording of you saying the word tiny. You can say it however you like. You can say it as quiet or as loud as you like. You can record it as many times as you like. You can record it wherever you like. It could be on your phone, it can be on a microphone, it can be anything like that. Because the series is going to be called Tiny. And I've always loved opening stings for like things like Radiolab and NPR and stuff that have that open with lots of voices cut together. So like Radiolab, for instance, is a really good example. I do think at sometime this month I'll do a stream where I put that particular thing together. But yes, if you would like to submit, use Command Tiny, and you'll get a link to the Dropbox folder. Stick your audio in there, and yeah, I look forward to getting your submissions. Okay, that is all the housekeeping out of the way. Whew, slightly dehydrated. I'm gonna have some lemon and ginger tea. Oh, have you noticed? Have you spotted? Have you spotted? We are joined. We are joined in the studio by Lady Pop-Tart. She has she's recently moved. She's been in a sort of she's been sleeping mostly in like this little box next to the piano in the bedroom. But now she's moved to sleeping in my office chair at night, and also on the back of the sofa when I'm using it. So hopefully this will be her for the rest of the stream. I would point the second camera at her, but sadly the grip that is on there has been commandeered for film use. So we do have the second camera if she moves, but for the time being, that's your view of Lady Poppington. Piano in the bedroom is a very audio creator thing I love. Well, the plan is I might be moving it through here at some point. Basically, I've currently got a digital organ in here that I don't use, and it used to belong to my uncle, and basically I'm gonna either sell it or donate it. Send you my tiny. Oh, incredible! Thank you. That's very quick. Thank you. Very efficient. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's taking up space in the office, so I want to kind of move it out of the way, and then maybe I want to kind of I feel like I've been talking about this for ages. Rejigging the office and moving things around. I have a list of things I want to change about the office, and I'll be kind of working through that through the year. Hopefully. So many free upright pianos here in this area. I'm incredibly jealous. Desperately want an acoustic upright. Jigging in the office, rejigging the office, moving things around, moving furniture around, seeing if there's a better way to utilize the space. Because right now, my office, the way that the office is set up hasn't really changed that much in the 6 years I've been living here. It used to be a co-working space. Sarah used to sort of have this in the back. I used to take up this space here. And then we sort of moved it into the she moved her office into the spare room, and then the spare room became her office, because we just realized that like when we both went freelance, it didn't really make sense for us to both to co-work. We kind of needed our own. And now it's the Poppy Zone, exactly. And we also put a big 3-seater sofa there, which was delightful. Maybe make the place in your office for having little jigs. Well, that's but one of the things is to make more space, because the last time I did a big rejig of the office was for Camlin, when we had like 7 or 8 people in here at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in here. So we had to move a bunch of stuff around. So the hope is to kind of, because right now I'm sitting in the middle of the room basically, and I'm very much just like, if I move over if my desk's over there by the window, it means I'm only taking up one side, and then there's all this space gets freed up. That's the plan. That's the thinking. But I need to find like a new desk and figure out where I need to get rid of some stuff and move some other stuff around. So there's all sorts of things. There's room to do a single dance, but only when Poppy allows it. Just pick Poppy up and that's a lie. Poppy hates being picked up, and she doesn't let me do that. Okay, so are we ready to watch some old public information films? Gotta take my glasses off. If people are I think somebody mentioned Internet Archive. These all came from Internet Archive. Let me get Internet Archive up. Archive.org. So, this is archive.org. Brilliant website, brilliant. Also, can we mock the films? You are very much encouraged to mock the films. I didn't make them. Copyright on Internet Archive can be a bit funny sometimes, but if you are looking for sort of ephemera or old is archived back, I thought there were issues. They got sorted. because somebody decided to attack Internet Archive, a free resources that catalogs the internet, because they thought it was connected to the US government when it isn't. So it was a completely misdirected energy. The Internet Archive is a great place to find samples and interesting little bits of resources and little things. What we're interested in is the 13 million videos that it has. Now, 13 million is a lot, admittedly. And the thing is, as well, is that the search function on archive.org is not the best. But the thing you want to look for, the specific collection you want to look in, will it show up here? Or do I have to type it in specifically? See, this is what I mean. It kind of, it is not the best. What you want this one. You want the Prelinger archives, so the Prelinger archives is amazing. So what the Prelinger archives is, it is a collection of ephemera. It's all copyright free. It's ephemera, so it's like educational videos. It's public information films. It's home videos. It's really, really good. Like the famous "Don't Be a Sucker" film about fascism is in here. There's loads of stuff about like there's loads and loads and loads of stuff about like drugs and teen safety, all that stuff. It's fantastic, a beautiful resource. For my shortcuts piece last year, it would have been this time last year, I found a piece about like how to get ready for marriage, and it was this horrific film about making sure you're ready to get married. And there's lots of old science films and also like stuff about like, this is the future, all great. So everything we're going to be looking at today, everything we're going to be using is from the Prelinger archives. I found out about the Prelinger archives because of a band called Public Service Broadcasting. Now, if you have not listened to Public Service Broadcasting, as soon as this stream is over, your quest is to listen to some Public Service Broadcasting, because they are just the best band. They make songs using archive footage, and it's mind-bogglingly good. I've not listened to all of their albums, but their first album is about like wartime ephemera, and the second album is about the race for space. I absolutely love that one. What are they called again? Public Service Broadcasting. They are and then they did another one which is about the rise and fall of the mining industry in Wales. That's possibly one of the most beautiful albums I've ever listened to. They've got an album out about Berlin that I've not listened to yet, so I will need to check that out at some point. They're just great. Saw them live last year, and they built up the samples live on stage. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. They're so good. Didn't know they were using the Prelinger archive. They did for their first album. I don't know if they continued to use them later on. The other thing as well, I don't know where. I think NASA have stuff on archive.org as well, because that's all. Everything NASA does is public domain. They did for the Wales one too. That's really cool. I love that. Yeah, just real good. Just really, really, really good. Yeah, Prelinger archives, fantastic resource if you're looking for like stock footage. There is I think archive.org do have a specific stock footage archive. I've just not used it, so I can't speak for it. But Prelinger archives is what we used for these. Are we going to have time to listen with Myth Part 2 dropping in the next bit? Oh, that's out tonight, isn't it? I've not heard the second part. Because I'm not involved in it, so I'm going to be experiencing it for the first time as well, which is very exciting. Okay, let's start with a short one. So this one is called What's Myth? Myth is the latest album from the Narcissist Cookbook. They released part 1 last month, and I had a very, very, very small part in it, which was amazing. The second half is coming out I think tomorrow, right? I think it's coming out tomorrow, which is very, very exciting. It's a really good piece of sound art. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to it. But first, what is the band called? The Narcissist Cookbook. Really great, just really great. It's a singer-songwriter, but again, just incredible music and sound and storytelling. Really, really, really good. Mecha Moira finally arrived on time-ish. You have. We are just about to watch the first 1950s or 1960s public information film about driving safety. So you've arrived at precisely the right time. Okay, I'm going to eat this jelly bean because it's been on my desk for a while. And in the meantime, we're going to watch Freeway Driving, which is about road safety. And we're going to go, basically we're going to get your robot pals and popcorn. It's time for MST3K. It is a little bit, we are going to have a little bit of an MST3K night, which is delightful. We're going to watch through it once, and then I'm going to kind of pick out specific bits that I'm like, oh, I think we can use this as like a clip for the documentary. So driving safety videos like, now see here, men, the women folks can't drive all that well. That's why this convertible is bright pink. We may get some of that. I've not vetted these as well, by the way. I've only skimmed through them, so I can't. There's nothing in there that I can tell that's like shocking, but it's just content warning for the 1950s and 60s, just generally. Okay, here we go. So this is Freeway Driving. Delightful music straight away.
The new superhighways are known by various names depending on where you live. You might call them expressways, turnpikes, parkways, or throughways. In this motion picture, we will use a term popular in the West. This is a freeway. Only for cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles. There are no traffic lights or stop signs. You are allowed to park only in an emergency. There are no streets to cross your path.
No trams
The freeway
allowed.
has a divider strip in the center with several lanes for traffic in two directions. Separate ramps are used for entering and leaving the freeway.
We're going to get a lot of 1950s narration.
The point where two or more freeways cross is an interchange. It might have 4 levels, but most are one-level separations. As you will see, interchange traffic requires special driving procedures. These new superhighways present many problems for the motorist. Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
There it is. There's the change.
Motorists must learn to think and plan ahead. Superhighway can be very confusing. Plan your entire...
Oh.
Never drive your car on any superhighway when the vehicle has worn out tires, bad brakes, or other mechanical problems. Dangers are multiplied at high speeds. Your car might stop running. You might have an accident. Be certain that your car is in top condition. Then you are ready to do at a time. Don't try to jump across several in a single move.
Okay.
It is safer to drive with the prevailing speed on the highway. But if you must drive slower, stay in the right-hand lane. Don't block traffic.
The
Allow
sound
at least
quality
one
is
car
awful.
length for every 10 miles on your speedometer. When you are moving at 60 miles an hour, it takes the distance of half a city block to stop. You're in danger if you assume the car you follow will maintain between your car and the one in front. You'll need that space if he meets an emergency or makes a mistake. You don't save time by riding on top of the next car.
Speak for yourself.
If the slower moving car would stay in the right-hand lane, accident hazards like this one might be avoided.
I hate how there's been multiple lines that I'm like, oh, this would be great. That it cuts out halfway
and heavy
through.
traffic call for special precautions. Signs like this one indicate the lane you want to take. Look for these markers before you arrive at the interchange. If you need, law enforcement officers have 3 warnings for every motorist, regardless of driving experience. Each of these warnings should be observed for better driving and to prevent accidents. First, never stop your car on the freeway.
Just never stop your car.
Never get out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a flat tire, stalls, or develops other trouble, stay inside and bring it to the extreme right.
What was that?
Your
Such a
life
loud
is
bang.
worth more than a tire. Save yourself before you save your car.
I'm learning a lot.
And exit your car on the right-hand side. Second, never drive if you are tired. If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger. Okay, park your car and rest.
Oh, God.
Third, keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters. Watch the vehicles in front of you on the freeway,
That's
and
reasonable.
remember the cars behind you, too. Check your rear view mirror frequently. Look out for sudden stops, and be ready for any emergency. You'll meet many of them in your freeway driving. There safely. That's another reason for planning your route before you begin the trip. And you must maintain a much slower speed.
Well, there's a whole bit missing there.
Remember the freeway tips expert drivers practice all the time. The multi-million-dollar freeway systems help you travel rapidly and safely, usually. But try to avoid traffic jams like this. If you see a tie-up ahead or hear a radio bulletin, if possible, turn off and use an alternate street. Freeway driving calls for excellent drivers and excellent cars, each of them in the best condition. There are lots of rules and regulations to remember, that's true. You must discipline yourself to follow the proper procedures and form good driving habits.
Oh, thank God, a line
It
we
isn't a
can
snap
use.
to drive on the turnpikes, parkways, expressways, and freeways, and not every motorist can do it well. You pay for your mistakes, one way or another.
Good God.
But there is no reason...
It just stopped. That's enough. Is it just going to cut out? Is the audio just going to cut out at the end? Yeah, it does. It just cuts out. Okay, so personal highlight for me was, remember these 3 tips for safe driving. These days on American highways. And then I got shot or something. Just, good God. Fantastic work, chat, by the way. Excellent. Here's Smurley. He's an idiot who filled his engine with glue again. It's just the way it cuts out was just really funny. But thankfully this ice cream salesman helped him out. I got it. Like, oh, we should watch more films like this just for the bit. I mean, I really love using. The tire exploding was so funny. God, absolutely broke. It ended specifically on.
Do it well.
Like it just ends on.
You pay for your mistakes, one way or another. But there is no reason...
That's so sinister. Yeah, oh man. Oh, Mary used the glue, not the grease in the tire. Yeah, so there is a couple of things we can use from there. I'm trying to...
The $1 million freeway systems help you travel rapidly and safely.
This is one edit away from analog horror. It's not far away.
The $1 million freeway systems help you travel rapidly and safely, usually.
What, there's an there.
Safely, usually. But try to avoid traffic jams like this. If you see a tie-up ahead or hear a radio bulletin, if possible, turn off and use an alternate street.
Where's it gone?
Freeway driving calls for excellent drivers and excellent cars, each of them in the best condition. There are lots of rules and regulations to remember, that's true. You must discipline yourself to follow the proper procedures and form good driving habits. It isn't a snap to drive on the turnpikes, parkways, expressways, and freeways, and not every motorist can do it well.
Yeah, that's good. That's a nice line there.
You pay for your mistakes, one way or another. But there is no reason...
I kind of like the music as well. Like, we're going to hear a lot of public information film music, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, there were just bits missing. Yeah, but there's no reason. Yeah, right. That's minus archive stuff. That's awful.
But there is no reason. Freeway driving calls for Remember the freeway tips. Expert drivers practice all the time. The multi-million-dollar
You'll never know.
Systems help
You'll never know.
Third, keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters. Keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters.
That's quite a nice line there.
Watch the vehicles in front of you on the freeway and remember the cars behind you too. Check your rear view mirror frequently. Look out for sudden stops and be ready for any emergency.
That's nice.
You'll meet many of them in your freeway driving.
That's good. That's good.
There safely. That's another reason for planning your route before you begin the trip.
Yeah, the line about not blinking was amazing. like never blink while you're driving. It only takes a second.
Never drive if you are tired. If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger.
Every time you blink while driving, you're putting your life in God's hands. I do remember... I do remember it was one time I was having a driving lesson when I was 18 and I needed to sneeze, and because it was maybe like the second or third lesson I'd done, I was terrified, and I was like, I couldn't stop myself sneezing, so I like tried to force my eyes open while sneezing, and it was the worst thing. I just went I sneezed over this poor guy's car. It was awful.
If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger.
I think we could maybe find a place for that. The real reason not to blink is weeping angels have had to become traffic wardens due to cutbacks. Hi, Bentwell. Good to see you.
And now you're at the interchange. Curves and heavy traffic call for special precautions. Signs like this one indicate the lane you want to take.
By the way, I absolutely love that we all started watching archive public information films and everyone immediately started doing MST3K bits. I'm very proud of chat. Very proud of you. Very well done.
Arrive at the interchange. If you need... Law enforcement officers have...
Yeah, just what was this?
Arrive at the interchange. If you need... Law enforcement officers have 3 warnings for every motorist, regardless of driving experience. Each of these warnings should be observed for better driving and to prevent accidents.
This is making me think I've never had to sneeze while driving. Curves call for precaution. I remember that, like, I can't remember. It was like I think it might have been like a driving program or something, and it was a British driving program, and they were kind of saying like this American racetrack is unusual because it has some left turns and some right ones as well. That was rather delightful.
First, never stop your car on the freeway, and never get out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a...
Sorry, it's so sudden. It's such a sudden, loud noise.
First, never stop your...
Also, just with context, if you're just listening to that, it just sounds like somebody drifted off the road, like tried to stop on the freeway and got shot.
First, never stop your car on the freeway. And never get out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your
Merble the traffic gunman will get you.
car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a flat tire, stalls, or develops other trouble, stay inside and bring it to the extreme right.
And keep your eyes open.
Your life is worth more than a tire.
Okay, I want to get
Your life is worth more than a tire. Save yourself before you save your car. And exit your car on the right-hand side.
Okay, that's just bad driving advice for people in the UK, generally.
Second, never drive. Second, never drive if you are tired. If your eyes close for just a fraction.
Not the extreme right. Not again. The only way you'll be a safe driver is if you're petrified by the fear of God. Okay, right. I think that was kind of all we're going to get, because I love this music as well.
The new superhighways are known by various names depending on where you live.
Merble is extreme right. Oh no, not Merble the Nazi.
The new superhighways are known by various names depending on where you live. You might call them expressways, turnpikes, parkways, or throughways.
Would it be funny? What would be funny is if you replace the bang with a fart noise. Or something unexpected. I don't know, I think the bang was pretty damn unexpected.
Never drive if you are tired.
It's just because it's such a loud random...
First, never stop your car on the freeway. And never get out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a...
Because the thing is, that's clearly a gunshot. Now this is podcasting. Oh my word. I see, I don't think there's anything else in there. First, never stop your car. Yeah, that was also delightful. Oh.
The new superhighways are known by various names depending on where you live. You might call them expressways, turnpikes, parkways, or throughways. In this motion picture, we will use a term popular in the West. This is a freeway. Only for cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles. There are no traffic lights or stop signs. You are allowed to park only in an emergency.
Use that for a funk remix. I do love the idea of doing like a little bonus thing of making like a piece of music with these.
There are no streets to cross your path.
Making like a dark audio piece.
The freeway has a divider strip in the center with several lanes for traffic and two.
Yeah, this is...
Separate ramps are used for entering and leaving the...
Describing a freeway is of no use to us, sadly.
The point where two or more freeways cross is an interchange. It might have 4 levels, but most are 1-level separations.
I like how they decided to get an entirely new shot set up. You should do a little zip of all the clips you collect. I might do that, actually. That's actually a really good time. That's really good fun.
As you will see, interchange traffic requires special driving procedures.
Yeah, no, that's...
These new superhighways present many problems for the motorist. Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day.
I might use
Any
that.
vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Yeah, I quite like that. That's kind of fun.
Motorists must learn to think and plan ahead.
What's the difference between a freeway and a highway? I think they're the same thing. I think they're the same thing.
Think and plan.
One has more rights and the other is on drugs.
Motorists must learn to think and plan ahead.
That was quick. That was quick.
Superhighway can be very confusing. Plan your entire...
It's just the fact that it just cuts out. Plan. The importance of plan, and then it just cuts out.
Confusing. Plan your entire... Never drive your car on any superhighway when the vehicle has worn out...
I think we just do a really fun edit of this being like, never drive your car on a superhighway. Never stop your car. Never get out of your car. Never blink.
Never drive your car on any superhighway when the vehicle has worn out tires, bad brakes, or other mechanical problems.
That's not really...
Dangers are multiplied at high speeds.
Yeah, that's that. Dangers are multiplied at high speeds. Could be kind of fun.
Dangers are multiplied at high speeds. Your car might stop running. You might have an accident. Be certain that your car is in top condition. Then you are ready to drive at a time. Don't try to jump across several. You might stop running. You might have an accident.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun. Make it like a Scarfolk PSA. Whatever you do, don't. It will be illegal to do. Yes, I love Scarfolk.
You are ready to do at a time.
I made a whole series based around exactly this kind of vibe, and it was amazing. I miss doing the dungeon economic model. That was so much fun.
Try to jump across several in a single move. It is safer to drive with the prevailing speed on the highway.
The importance of playing and then cut to a different scene is so funny, like for TV shows or audio drama. Like, if you enjoy this kind of comedy, I would recommend the Dungeon Economic Model. If you are not aware of it, it's a show I made with a couple of friends of mine during the pandemic. It's basically public information films about the importance of the economic benefits of having a dungeon in your town. It's possibly one of the silliest things. I think it is the silliest thing I've ever made. You might have an accident. A sinister ice cream man might cut your brake line so you can feel something.
Prevailing speed on the highway. But if you must drive slower, stay in the right-hand lane. Don't block traffic. Allow at least one car length for every 10 miles on your speedometer. When you are moving at 60 miles an hour, it takes the distance of half a city block to stop. You're in danger if you assume the car you follow will maintain between your car and the...
This is sort of weird little here, which is delightful.
The car you follow will maintain between your car and the one in front.
Who edited this?
You'll need that space if he meets an emergency or makes a mistake.
Absolutely. Also, I feel like the word he is emphasized here.
You'll need that space if he meets an emergency or makes a mistake. You don't save time by riding on top of the next car.
Clearly Merble edited it. Goddamn Merble. Amateur. Merble, the amateur audio editing Nazi.
Top of the next car.
Who shoots people?
If the slower moving car would stay in the right-hand lane, accident hazards like this one might be avoided. And now you're at the interchange.
Okay, we've gone from here. Okay, that's quite a lot of stuff there that we've taken from that already. Okay, so I'll give you a choice for the next one. So we have 3 more. So there's Where Safety Starts, which is quite long. I think it's like 15 minutes long or so. Yeah, that's about 14 minutes. We also have The Human Factor in Driving, which is 10 minutes. And then we also have this one, excuse me, and then we also have this one from the 1970s called Wild at the Wheel. And I'll just give you a hint of what this one looks like. It's very 70s. So that's Wild at the Wheel. This is The Human Factor. The Human Factor also features animations like this. And then also we've got Where Safety Starts, which is just standard 1950s stuff. Well, it's which one we watch next, right? What is that? Well, we're gonna have to watch it to find out because I don't know. Okay, tell you what. Why don't we watch? Why don't we? Well, look, we have to watch Wild at the Wheel. It was. Did I read that right? Okay, sorry, I forgot you can do scrubbing in Reaper. It was written, directed, and photographed by a guy called Dick Sawyer. I feel like we have to, right? Okay, right. We're gonna watch Wild at the Wheel. Are we ready? Did the soundtrack just drop a tab? No, I went backwards. Right, here we go. You saw your dick. I think it's a Tim Vine joke, where it's like I went into a health food shop, and the shop attendant said, soya chunks, to which I said, you shouldn't have been looking. Okay, right. Right. We're gonna watch Wild at the Wheel. I will say this one is about car accidents, but it's like 1970s public information films. Dick Sawyer hardly got shot. Okay. Here we go. This is Wild at the Wheel from the 1970s. The music in this one is amazing also. Ooh, we get a countdown. This boy has spilled
Tom
ketchup on his
Robinson,
face.
19 years old. His friends called him Speedy. He'd earned the nickname.
What? Oh,
He
why?
always drove too fast, and that's what caused the accident.
Is that also why he was called Speedy? Ooh. That's bass. Ooh.
But what were the reasons for Tom's persistent speeding? What motivated him? What events led up to this tragic ending?
It's a grotty bass, isn't it? Ooh.
I'm a traffic investigator, and it's my job to uncover the answers to these questions.
Looks like a character out of Twin Peaks.
Besides, I knew him personally, and I liked him.
He was my friend, and I liked him.
I called on his father first. Mr. Robinson was very cooperative and gave me a frank account of his son's driving history. Before Tom got his own car, Mr. Robinson told me, father and son had frequent arguments about who was going to use the family car. I gathered that Mr. Robinson himself was a pretty skillful driver, but aggressive and impatient behind the wheel. Probably he kept his good driving record only through luck and the courtesy of other more sensible drivers. I wondered how many of Tom's earliest attitudes toward driving and taking chances might have come from watching his own father. Then, with Mr. Robinson's help, Tom had been able to get a car of his own. He acted as if his whole life had led up to this moment. I remember I felt pretty much the same way about my first car. In spite of his own reckless driving habits, Mr. Robinson made it a point to urge his son to drive carefully and to observe all the traffic rules.
I will say
First
the compression
thing,
on the
Tom took the
music
shortcut
is
over the
terrible.
hills to his girlfriend's house to show her the new car. He and his father had already worked out a plan for Tom to repay the loan. Mr. Robinson told me, proudly, that his son had faithfully kept their agreement right up to the time of the accident. Tom appeared in traffic court once on a speeding ticket. He admitted he'd been speeding and was perfectly willing to pay the fine. But his father was outraged that the police wasted their time hauling in good, clean-cut kids for driving a little fast.
His dad's
while
a
the city was
Republican.
overrun with real criminals. I'd heard that idea many times. How much did it contribute to Tom's own attitude towards speeding? Tom's younger brother, Kenny, still very proud of him, said to me, "Tom was the best driver in the world. He could have been a race driver."
What the hell's going? What the hell is going? I don't have anything to say about this. It's just there's so much going on. I don't think I can use any of this.
It was pretty clear that this obvious hero worship from his younger brother must have been important to Tom. Certainly, it helped to boost his own conviction that he was a skillful driver.
just taking out this guy.
Kenny would be old enough to apply for his driver's license in a few weeks. When he told me about the lessons Tom gave him, he made them sound like some of their happiest times together. I spoke with several of Tom's teachers. I learned that he was popular with his fellow students, although he wasn't particularly active in school affairs. The teachers agreed that he was conscientious and responsible.
Oh, infer, imply,
he was a good
right,
student,
okay.
though not brilliant, and he usually showed good common sense.
He was a hit with the ladies.
I made it a point to talk with some of Tom's friends. In his desire to be accepted, Tom always seemed to be trying to impress them with his driving. He sure could handle a car, they told me. But there was no doubt they thought he was a pretty wild driver. Once Tom found that he'd earned his friends' admiration, he was anxious to keep up his reputation for fast driving. His girlfriend Carol told me that she liked riding with him.
Gross.
But I never realized what could happen, she told me. We always had such a great time.
Oh, a race. Race between men. Going at quite a safe speed, it turns out. They loved his oversized collars and slightly
Carol
dubious
told me that
haircut.
one of Tom's best friends had been badly hurt in an automobile accident and might be permanently crippled.
He hurt himself trying to squeeze into the tiny car.
But Tom's attitude seems to have been the usual one. It can't happen to me. And his reckless speeding continued. His confidence in his own skill at the wheel increased, and he grew more and more impatient with anyone who got in his way. He took more chances than ever.
Ooh, a jelly bean.
I learned
Thank
that
you.
Tom used to brag about his technique for beating the rap if an officer stopped him for a traffic violation. His trick was always to be very pleasant and polite, to say he was sorry for what he'd done, and to agree with everything the officer said. On minor violations, it seems to have worked. He'd actually been stopped several times and let go with a warning.
Just check the police officer out on the way out. This music is amazing. Like,
My own association with Tom came about through the Athletic League baseball team, where I was coach. Tom's doctor had reported to me that he was in good physical
sorry.
shape,
I know we're not supposed to be
and that his
pausing, but I just look at the
Athletic League baseball team, where I was coach.
look at the lettering on that T-shirt. Look. Can I make this any bigger? Yeah, look at the lettering. That's so. God damn. The most popular coach on the baseball field. Okay. That is a third of his height. Two tattoos. Oh, he's got tattoos?
My own association with Tom came about through the Athletic League baseball team, where I was coach.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Tom's
In the
doctor had
70s as
reported
well.
to me that he was in good physical shape and that his eyesight and reflexes were excellent. Only a few days before his accident, he tried out for first base. He was always likable and conscientious, but his playing was erratic and he just couldn't handle the position.
This
I've
guy's
often wondered if this failure might have upset him so much that he unconsciously tried to compensate for it in other ways.
he was bad at baseball,
Perhaps it
which
was
also
one
made
more
him a bad
factor in his
driver.
compulsion to speed.
The shorts.
Tom had a part-time job after school in a local drugstore. His employer told me that he was a dependable worker, friendly and polite.
I'm not sure what the like.
The pharmacist also told me that the day before the accident, Tom had asked for a raise. He had had to turn him down. Tom seemed unusually disappointed, he thought. He needed the extra money for his car insurance.
Can I just say this is meant to be a public information film about dangerous driving, and so far the point of the film seems to be that everyone else was responsible for this guy being a dangerous driver. Nothing to do with anything he did. He couldn't even make it to first base. So this upset him, and maybe that's why he decided to overcompensate by driving quickly. He worked at a drugstore, didn't get a promotion, and this upset him, which caused him to drive really quickly. His dad is a very aggressive driver, which caused him, and it's just like it's just it feels like it's just making excuses for this guy. Yeah, I don't. It's so weird.
Tom seemed unusually disappointed, he thought. He needed the extra money for his car insurance. Then, the following day, Tom drove Carol home after school and headed over the hills again on his way to work.
So his death was everyone else's fault. That's what it seems to be implying. Oh. Oof.
So there wasn't just one reason for Tom's speeding, but lots of them.
What?
And they had brought us both here.
him into that poor edit that rolled him sideways off the hill. Right, like, I'm not sure what the point
His early
of this.
difficulties with his father over the use of the family car might have caused him to think of it as a symbol of adult superiority. And his father's attitude and driving habits might have given him the dangerous idea that it's all right for a skillful driver to take chances. The admiration his speeding earned him from his younger brother and his apparent popularity with his friends must have been unusually important to him.
Martin, hi!
Subconsciously, he may have looked upon speeding as a way of making up for those small failures and disappointments that we all have to face.
Right.
I thought further about Kenny. As drivers, both his father and his older brother had set poor examples for him, but his own history and personality were different from his brother's. How good a driver would he turn out to be? I felt that Tom's speeding was an emotional outlet. He was probably compensating for feelings of insecurity and inferiority.
Got to the criminal profiling part of the safety
Speeding was
video.
a kind of thrill-seeking for him, a childish defiance of authority, and a misdirected attempt to show superiority. These were surely some of the reasons for Tom's compulsion to speed.
I'm not sure what the point
There
of
may
this
have
is
been
supposed to be.
If there were, he took them with him.
See, here's the thing. Thanks, Dick Sawyer and Bob Ellis. See, the thing is, I went into that expecting it to be like a sort of slightly talk-downy, like, ooh, don't speed, kids. I wasn't expecting it to be like, oh, well, maybe this person, did speeding because they didn't get a promotion at work. What? Poor driving is in your DNA. Right. That's, like, do you not think that's kind of, like, that's wild to me. Oh, look, it's Kenny, everybody. MVP of the film, Kenny. Basically, it's just, what will happen with Kenny? It's like, I don't know. I'd be surprised if Kenny ever gets in a car ever again, frankly. Like, yeah. It's basically just, I wonder why this happened to Kenny. I wonder why this happened to, what was the guy's name? Oh, God. Forgotten his name. Kenny's the lead in this sequel. Tom, thank you. It's just like, why? What caused Kenny to speed? Maybe it was society. Like, it's the most Disco Elysium ass public information film. Kenny became a traffic. Tom, aka Speedy. yeah, like, just what a way to start. I part of me wants to use the music because the music goes like. Like, I kind of like the music.
He'd earned the nickname.
There's a
He
slide
always drove
here.
too fast, and that's what caused the accident.
That's nice. Ooh. Yeah, just wild. I don't think there's anything I can use in this. Yeah. Also. By the way, this guy. Look at this. I wish I looked that good in shorts. Jesus. This massive hat. Okay. Right. Well, we have that as option for music and things. Can we talk about how everyone in these videos looks a little bit great gam? This traffic investigator did not skip leg day. Inspo for my summer wardrobe. Okay, right. So we've got none of the other ones are going to be as like intense as that, sadly. We've got the human factor, which features this. I just love clicking on random like stills and seeing what comes up. This is the human factor. He can't skip leg day. How else would he catch cars? And what else do we have? We also have Where Safety Starts, which I think is going to be the story of the National Driver Education and Training Programs for high schools. Riveting. And then I also believed, and the new improved General Squeegee tire. Shall we do the longer one? Yes, let's do. Okay, let's do Where Safety Starts. And we can end with the human factor. Yes, we can also have another look and see if we can find any more. General Squeegee. We're about to meet General Squeegee. Okay, I want the Weird Eye one. Okay, well, you know what? Let's do human factor next. No, it's okay, Nimsy. We'll do human factor next. And then it means we're just so I know it's out of the way before we go into stuff, because I think the human factor might have a bit more in it, whereas I think this might be more about training programs rather than actual driving. But we'll go with human factor first. It will be very funny if the only thing we take clips from is the absolutely badly made freeway driving. Okay, so this is the human factor. I reckon this is going to start with some more amazing music.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood. Each of us are individuals with varying degrees of physical and mental aptitudes. But there is one thing we all have in common. Each one of us considers himself a good driver. How safe a driver we are is determined by how well we control our physical actions through our mental processes. Our minds are divided into two parts.
Yeah, only men.
The conscious, through which we do all of our reasoning, and the subconscious, which retains knowledge. The subconscious has no ability to reason or to decide upon anything. It merely stores up facts and habits.
It's just farting out
Once we have
electricity.
mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically.
Okay.
The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, the more likely we are to be lulled into a sense of false security.
There's the turn.
Under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes.
It is, yeah, the brain understander has
Others
logged
require
on. Yeah.
conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits. Let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad habit. Driver X considered himself a good driver.
Driver X.
And at exactly 7:40 each morning, he left his home and followed the same route to work. There is a stop sign about 2 blocks away. At first, he used to stop there. Well, almost stop. He had never believed too much in stop signs. And besides, there wasn't much traffic on this other street anyhow.
I'm expecting a
His
gunshot,
subconscious
honestly.
had developed a dangerous habit pattern. And on this morning, his conscious thoughts were occupied with more interesting things than driving a car.
Okay. Second time a car has crashed due to a
Driver
tape.
X might have gone right on passing up stop signs if he hadn't been hit by Driver Y. We know that Driver X is legally responsible for this accident, but can Driver Y prove it? It isn't often you can get a witness who was looking at the exact moment of a collision, and the law says that after a car has stopped for a stop sign, it has the right of way over cars in the protected street that are not close enough to present
Driver,
an
why did
immediate
he hit
hazard.
me? Just pointing.
What kind of a driver is Driver Y? He rated himself excellent, never having been involved in an accident before. He, too, had developed habit patterns. One of these was the complete trust he placed in stop signs.
Right, but listen to this
Now,
one.
perhaps it
Believe
seems
in
a little
stop
foolish
signs.
to him to have placed so much trust in a piece of painted metal.
Oh, don't put
A
too
stop
much trust in
sign
them.
serves its purpose only if a driver consciously sees and heeds its command. Another habit driver Y had developed was fudging on the posted speed limits.
What?
Not much, only 5 miles or so.
Okay.
If he had been within the speed limit and consciously alert to the possibility of someone running a stop sign, he might have avoided the collision. Any unsafe procedure that we continuously follow can develop into a fatal habit.
This film
After
really did
finding a
let
parking
they who
place
are without
and getting
sin.
the car into it, our thoughts are probably concerned with what we are going to do and say when we arrive at our destination. The subconscious takes over and guides our actions through the mechanical processes of the car's operation and opening the door and stepping into the street. If we have not consciously formed the habit of watching
Oh
for
God!
hazards,
Oh my
our
God!
subconscious sees no harm in letting
my
us get
God.
out this way.
Just, oh my God! Sorry,
Our
sorry. Oh my God! It just got. Sorry, I have to see that again. Thank you for the jelly bean break. But
Processes of the car's operation and opening the door and stepping into the street. If we have not consciously formed the habit of watching for hazards,
Yes.
our subconscious sees no harm in letting us get out this way.
no music, no nothing, no noise.
Our habit patterns can also be expensive as well as dangerous. Most of us at one time or another have tried to be first away when the signal changes. Actually, we are not getting to our destination any faster. We will have to stop at the next intersection because signals are timed to maintain a safe flow of traffic. The tortoise does just as well as the hare in a situation like this, and he gets there a lot more economically.
You won't get there any faster. He's already there.
Modern automobiles are provided with much more horsepower than we really need, and it requires a lot of good horse sense to properly handle.
Horse sense. Horse sense.
Everything we do affects the actions of others. If someone passes us on the highway, our subconscious reaction is to speed up also.
What? No.
This reaction is caused by our competitive urge.
What?
Unless this urge is consciously restrained,
What?
we will find ourselves passing car after car as our speed increases. This urge for faster travel is in turn passed on to other drivers.
What?
And soon there is a whole line of fast-moving traffic.
Okay, none of that's a thing. What?
Fatigue is one of the greatest hazards to our driving safety.
Oh, we're not blinking again.
It is especially dangerous because it creeps up on us gradually, dulling our sensibilities and our ability to think clearly. A tired driver will drift off to sleep and his car will drift off the highway or into another car,
Oh my
taking
God!
them
Whoa!
both
What?
to oblivion.
I'm sorry. That whole scene made no sense. He just calmly drove off the road and the car caught fire.
Fatigue is one of the greatest hazards to our driving safety. It
Mike.
is especially dangerous because it creeps up on us gradually, dulling our sensibilities and our ability to think clearly.
Slowly drives off the
A
road.
tired driver will drift off to sleep and his car will drift off the highway or into another car, taking them both to oblivion. When fatigued, a driver will experience hallucinations and have an accident by maneuvering to avoid an obstacle
Yeah, no
seen but
noises.
not actually present on the highway. Our eating habits can also cause a dulling of our sensibilities. Too little nourishment, and we soon become weak and listless with varying degrees of dizziness. Overeating before a long drive is just as bad. To digest a heavy meal, great quantities of blood are drawn to the stomach, causing us to feel sluggish and sleepy, lowering our alertness.
So before you
Long,
drive,
monotonous stretches of highway combined with the steady sound of the car's movement can also induce an hypnotic type of sleep. In situations like this, conversation helps, or if alone, the car radio should be turned on.
no, don't touch the car. Look, you demonstrated earlier on that you should never touch the car radio. That has killed 2 people. in the course of these films.
Conversation helps, or if alone, the car radio should be turned on. Whenever you recognize the first symptoms of fatigue or sleep, it is foolhardy to try to fight it.
The real killer is light entertainment.
Stop your car and walk around for a while until you are again alert. However, this is only a temporary expedient. There is no substitute for sleep. Our reactions to our surroundings are different when we are behind the wheel because of the hazards involved. Annoyances that we would overlook or ignore under other circumstances will very often cause us to literally blow our tops.
Literally
Anger,
blow
whether
your
justified
tops.
or not, destroys our reasoning power and good judgment. An angry driver is a menace to himself and to others. Unhappiness and emotional stress are also responsible for thousands of smash-ups. A bad day at the office or trouble at home can upset our emotional balance, destroying our ability to rationalize. An automobile is a most effective salve for emotional hurts. Behind the wheel, we are the boss. The car never argues. We step on the gas and the great power leaps to our command.
The car is a power
We
bottom.
put distance between ourselves and our troubles, at least temporarily. But when we are emotionally upset, our cars can instantly turn into lethal weapons.
You can run people, run down the people. Oh my God!
As time passes, our traffic congestion will get worse instead of better. Although billions of dollars are planned to expand our highway systems and freeways, the growth in population will provide cars to fill them before they are even completed. If we are to survive under these conditions and still derive some pleasure from our driving, we must, as individuals, adapt ourselves to conditions. Breaking unsafe habits and replacing them with safe ones won't be easy. But if it protects ourselves and others from injury or death, the effort is worthwhile. We expend great amounts of nervous energy in
dangerous
driving,
driver.
and a healthy body
Closed
and
his
alert
eyes
mind
for a
are
fraction of a
necessary
second.
requisites. We all have our limitations beyond which we cannot go. Anger and emotional stress in an automobile are suicidal at the least and can be murderous. There is no time in our daily existence when our ability to think clearly is more important than when we are driving.
Okay. There's quite a lot we could use in that, actually. I'm going to head now. Hope all continue to enjoy. Goodbye. Thanks very much for dropping by, Kieran. It was good to see you again. Hopefully we'll catch you again soon. Yeah, so there's quite a lot there. I reckon I'll probably end up using most of the end, because that was kind of nice. But see, this is another one, right? Like, it's kind of, you know, make sure you've eaten something, but don't eat too much. Make sure make sure you're in a good emotional state. Make sure you're rested. Make sure you're like. Again, it's kind of the doing, just like, make sure you've grown up in a household where your father figure is also an irresponsible driver. Like, make sure you get a promotion at work so you're not sad when you drive home at night. Like, I was not expecting the car to explode because the guy was tired. My goodness. Now, where's the...
As time passes, our traffic congestion will get worse.
Yes, I think everything from that point on was really good. I feel like there was one bit at the start.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles.
To operate a car safely, first reform society to be equitable. Right, like I feel like that's the subtext here. Is that if you want people to drive safely, they have to be happy. In the case of was it wild driving, wild at the wheel? Clearly, it's just like, okay, but if this young guy, if Speedy had support, had a support system in place, and was able to access that support, and had enough money from his job, or maybe something like universal basic income to afford his car insurance, and the car insurance was also regulated better than it currently is, maybe he wouldn't be driving too quickly to make up for it or something. Like, yeah. Exert control on all the things you cannot actually control. That will surely solve your anxiety. Right. Oh.
Highways and motor vehicles. However, the human factor which causes accidents is very little
There was something
understood.
on this bit.
Each of us are individuals with varying degrees of physical and mental aptitudes. But there is one thing we all have in common. Each one of us considers himself a good driver. How safe a driver...
Yeah, that's just categorically not true.
How safe a driver we are is determined by how well we control our physical actions through our mental processes.
I think you can do something with that.
Our minds are divided into two...
Also, I've only just noticed that that's meant to be a person's face. I did not realize it was inside a person's head.
Through our mental processes. Our minds are divided into two parts. The conscious, through which we do all of our reasoning, and the subconscious, which retains knowledge. The subconscious has no ability to reason or to decide upon anything.
Just farting
it
out
merely
electricity.
stores up facts and habits.
I think that graphic should be the thumbnail for this piece. Maybe, honestly.
Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically.
Yes, I think we can maybe do something like that.
The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, the more likely we are to be lulled into a sense of false security.
Yeah, that's maybe something there.
Under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes. Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things at the beginning and that bit at the end. The whole bit in the middle was just weird. Was there something about parking?
Any unsafe procedure that we continuously follow can develop into a fatal habit. After finding a parking place and getting the car into it,
Sorry, I'm just laughing
our
at what
thoughts are
happens
probably
next.
concerned with what we are going to do and say when we arrive at our destination. The subconscious takes over and guides our actions through the mechanical processes of the car's operation.
I think we can maybe use something with...
The subconscious takes over and guides our actions through the mechanical processes of the car's operation and opening the door and stepping into the street. If we have not consciously formed the habit of watching for hazards,
just brutal.
our subconscious
Just
sees
brutal.
no harm in letting us get out
Oh,
this way.
brutal. Oh,
Our habit patterns can also be expensive as well as dangerous. Most of
yeah. Okay, so I think everything else was maybe a bit... they told us 2 videos ago to never stop and never get out of the car. Oh, man. Okay. So here's the thing. So this isn't going to be a piece about brutal. Yeah, yeah. I did smash them together. Very much like those cars. So we've got one more video to watch, but I also kind of want to see if we can find another video about car safety on archive.org about kind of dangerous driving, because I think there's a song that public service broadcasting do about driving, and they have people yelling at each other about oh, where'd you learn to drive? And I think that would be quite fun. But yeah, we can find good stuff about crash dummies. Maybe, I don't know. Like, well, let's do it. Let's have a look. So, I will demonstrate for you how to find a clip on the Prelinger archives. Naturally, a girl. Using vignettes, animations, and comments by girls and boys to explore the medical facts and some personal feelings about menstruation. That's going to be interesting. Making books. Fascinating. But yeah, so they've also got a bunch of home movies as well, but most of these don't have sound. Okay, so there's... Right, let's have a look. So the subject... Let's have a look at these. See if we can find one about automobiles. Transportation, cities... What's 170 pages of this, by the way? Is your daughter safe? Right. The 77 films about gender roles. That's a thing in itself. You could get clips from those unhinged car sales ads. When I was looking before, they did have a lot of... Okay, you need to stop moving. They did have a lot of ads for cars. So let me see if I can find... Military, road trips. Automobiles advertising. Let's have a look at that. Automobiles... Suburbia, my goodness. Car culture, I think that's the one I used before. There are 32 films about communism. Anything else we can maybe use? Commerce, Canada. These aren't in alphabetical order, I notice. Car culture newsreels, that could be fun. Ooh, that's bound to be a fun topic. I kind of want to look, but maybe another time. Okay, let's apply these filters and see what we find. Freeway driving, American make. Screwdrivers of 1940? What? Humorous driving and pedestrian safety film shot on the streets of Los Angeles emphasizes the importance of courtesy driving to avoid accidents and traffic congestion. This is from 1940. Sounds a bit fashy. Oh, you won't be able to hear this. Hang on. That's a good start. Donald Duck will tell you how to drive safe. Is the character called Mr. Screwdriver?
Any place in particular you'd like to go for lunch, Charlie? Lunch is on me today.
Oh, there's actors! My favourite!
Hey, Dick, let's go to the largest club in the world. Oh, you mean the Noontime Club? No, a larger club than that. Largest club in the world? I don't get it. But here's my car. Let's get in. Okay.
Al Capone?
Well, how was it? It was swell. But I still don't get this largest club in the world business. You will in a minute. Just look at the screen.
It's a film within a film?
Drivers are the screwiest people.
You're right, Lou, but don't forget the heedless pedestrians. They're kind of screwy, too.
Yeah. All brothers under the tin. I've got my hands full with the screwdrivers, and you got the screwy pedestrians or screwjays. That's what they are, screwjays. You got them, and you're stuck with them. Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me. Come on, let's get down to cases.
Okay, please tell me you are all hearing that as well. That's such a tone shift from everything else we've seen so far.
Take any driver. In other words, Mr. Anybody. Is he a businessman? Here's a typical businessman. Are you the man we're looking for? No. Mr. Mechanic, could you be our man? No? Well, all right. I was only asking. Let's see. The butcher,
where's
the
this
baker,
guy
the
from?
candlestick maker, the butcher. Hey, butcher, give me a pound of ground. Oh, skip it. Are you Mr. Anybody? No. Ah, Mr. Mr. Terwilliger, my old zoology teacher. Say, Mr. Terwilliger, could you be Mr. Anybody? No, Mr. Terwilliger, you ain't even close.
Anti-intellectualism, as always.
The businessman, the mechanic, the butcher boy, Mr. Terwilliger, put them all together. No, they don't spell mother, they spell, everything is going wrong. What gives out? What goes on? What's the matter? Let's get together. Hey, who is this coming from all these drivers?
This hurts.
Could you be any driver, anybody, by any chance, Mr. Anybody? Okay, Mr. Anybody. Thank goodness I found you. Well, now that I found you, just go on your merry way. Make like I'm not following you. But I'm going to watch you and see how you drive.
That's creepy.
Here we go merrily on our way. Hey, look out, Mr. Anybody. Don't pull out like that without looking back or holding out your hand.
Sorry, it's very funny.
Oh, it doesn't bother you. Such manners. A screwdriver, that's what you are, a screwdriver. Why
A
don't you hold out
screwdriver.
your hand? Why didn't you look before you pulled out? See what happened. Look what you've done. If you only knew how you look to other people. Oh, you don't care. You didn't get hurt. So it's a screwdriver you are, Mr. Anybody. My, ain't you ashamed? Well, Mr. Anybody, so you're not always screwy. Sometimes you act almost like a gentleman. Where you going now? Oh, a phone call. Look out, who's this? An early shopper for next Christmas. Look out, little lambkins. Such a polite Mr. Anybody and such manners, but such differences from your driving manners. He picked up the package for the busy shopper. That's Mama's polite little gentleman, but don't forget the phone. Hello, Mama. Bring home what? A pound of
This, you already did this joke.
Heads of leather.
Why are you doing this joke?
Apples for the teacher. Coming up, Mama, right away. Yeah, all right, Mama. Yeah, I bring them home. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This guy's doing his own MST3K show.
Here we are on our merry way again. To market, to buy a fat pig. If you bring home a bargain, Mama will jig. Hey, Papa, there's the market. Don't forget Mama's Rudy Bear, turnips. Where you gonna park? Not there, Papa. That's for going, not for stopping. Oh, Papa, my. Only a screwdriver double parks. No consideration for the other fella. Just look how you've jammed up traffic, and are those drivers mad at you?
How does this relate to the blokes at the start of the film? I have no idea.
You're such a screwdriver, my... Mr. Anybody, it's just people like you that make people like me exasperate.
Oh, we're doing it again.
Angry. It's people like you, Mr. Anybody, if you know what I mean.
I think it might... I think it is. It's meant to be a pun.
What's this? The Hardy family having a Jones dinner.
What?
I mean the Jones family having a Hardy dinner. It's Mr. Anybody, Papa in his own home.
What is happening?
How nice he is to Mama's mama.
What is going on?
Home-cooked Rudy beggars. There, I said it. Here comes the bread. Why, Junior, is that nice rushing in like that? You might upset the stew on Mama's dress. Remember,
where are you
always
from?
Be a gentleman. Wait for your Papa. Papa, will you give the signal? Yeah, Papa will give the signal. Now, wait a minute.
It's very rare to watch something that makes you thankful for the Second World War.
No. Wait for Papa. Mother. Mother's mother. Yeah. Now. Okay. Oh, but such driving manners.
It's like these fellas would have been sent to France.
Papa, out in traffic again. For heaven's sake, Papa, where are you going? Look out where you're going. Look out for your fender. Why don't you look where you're going? Why don't you go where you're looking? Why don't you slow down? My, Mr. Anybody, why don't you... Why? Such a weaving in and out. Such an in and outer. Half the time is polite and half the time...
It's a stop sign. Believe in the stop sign, everybody.
Say, you look like Junior coming to dinner. What's the idea of rushing like that? Oh, I see. You got to get somebody there in a hurry. Well? Hey, wait for the signal. You're worse than Junior. Now, look, you got people going and coming. That's the trouble with you, Mr. Anybody. You're going when you should be stopping, and you're stopping when you should be going. A pretty kettle of fish. Why didn't you wait for the signal? Well, here you are again. Nice work, sport. You made it without a moment's delay. Hurry right over to the hospital for your brother's appendectomy.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Operation.
It's funny because he can't say words because he's got a weird accent. Didn't realize Ricky Gervais was narrating this.
Oh, so you're not dashing to the hospital. So it's not an emergency. So it's only talk, small talk. Hey, you can't do that. Those guys back there are burning up. Dispositions and gasoline. Who is that guy that just got out of your car? Oh, I see. He's a screwy pedestrian, a screw jay. I might have known it.
Is it Dutch? Is it Dutch? I'm really not sure.
A screwdriver on foot. I bet you're really a nice fella, too. A careful, considerate man until you get loose on the street.
Just a minute, Lou. This is where I come in. Let me at this thoughtless pedestrian, this screw jay. You've handled the screwdriver. This fella's mine.
Okay, Don, take him away. And welcome. Take him far, far away.
All right, Lou, I'll take him. This fella represents the thoughtless man on the street. Here's Exhibit A. Did you ever see a dream walking? Well, here's one. A literary screw jay walking right into trouble. And he would really be in trouble if those people didn't have good brakes.
There's still another, 3 minutes.
Here's another type. He's the spirit of 76 screw jay, independence personified. Sure, he sees the motorists out of the corner of his eye, but who settled this country anyway? He knows his rights, and he's going to stick up for them, let the hips fall where they may. Why, he's practically daring those motorists to hit him.
This guy lives in Glasgow.
Hey, look out! Oh, an official screw jay. This type wants everybody else to go home till he gets through using the streets.
That's
All
not
he
a
needs
good.
is a tin badge.
That's
That is, till he gets
not a good hand gesture to do in 1940.
hit. Well, at least he knows where he's going. Oh, wait a minute, he's changing his mind. Now he's an open field screw jay. Thinks he's playing football. Watch him crash that line. Oh, he's down. No, he's up. Boy, look how he's throwing traffic for a loss. There he goes. He's in the clear. No, they got him. No, he made it, and he almost makes us wish he hadn't.
What?
Cars, thousands of them. Every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of cars, the need for courtesy on our streets and highways is also becoming increasingly apparent. Screwdrivers and screw jays. Traffic tangles and snarls. All contributing to a higher cost of transportation, a greater strain on both our nerves and our pocketbooks. But no, it's not entirely hopeless. Progress is being made. Traffic engineers are at work developing new and more efficient roads and highways. Here are some typical scenes showing engineering progress.
We're still not done.
Bridge approaches. Over and under passes. Boulevard parkways. Here's an impressive scene of a modern cloverleaf, a fine engineering contribution to eliminate highway congestion.
It's like a nightmare.
Legislative bodies are also at work, passing and enforcing new and better laws. Mayors, chiefs of police, civic bodies, all are tackling this great problem. One large oil company is vigorously attacking...
It just stopped. We'll never know. We'll never know what. We're never gonna know what. We're never gonna know what happened with the two guys at the club. We're never gonna find out what this oil company was doing because it just stopped.
Mayors, chiefs of police, civic bodies...
Yeah, we'll never know what the biggest club in the world is.
All are tackling this great problem. One large oil company is vigorously attacking...
It just stopped. Oh my god. so much. But here's the thing. There were bits in it at the beginning and the end that were actually really usable. So we're going to download it. We are going to download that for I think. Oh man, I'm tired after that. Good grief. Yes, okay, so that was one of them. Good grief. Okay. Right, you know what it is? It's 552. So right, so I think we're done watching public information films. Thank you, Nimsy, for the hydrate or dihydrate. My goodness. Who needs drugs when you've got the Internet Archive and decades of poor societal infrastructure? Oh my goodness. I am curious about to see if there's anything else in here. But yeah, I think there's almost certainly something else in here that we can use. Where were these PSA film shows? Yeah, they were screened before movies, right? I might spend the rest of the day watching Lair videos. I feel like they were on at least some drugs. Make more sense. Good God. That last film actually gives me the zoomies. Oh, Driven to... You know what? No, we're done. I'm still looking at more. So... Oh. So... The plan for Wednesday. So tomorrow, I'm going to go and record myself in the car doing some narration. I'm going to kind of... not like that. I'm going to drive around. I'm going to record a little bit of top and tail narration. And then we'll cut that on Wednesday. And then we can start taking the clips that we've got and start moving them into some sort of order. You got to do the accent though. No, I really don't. Because I'm very much just like, I don't know what that accent was. And as a result, I'm not comfortable doing it. Because it would like, I know that wasn't an accent, of that. I know that wasn't an impression of me, but it still felt offensive somehow, I know that character wasn't a send-up of the transgender community. And yet, I still felt very offended by it. Anyway, no, I'm not doing the voice. Yeah, so I'll record that. I'll record some voiceover tomorrow, and then we'll do that on Wednesday, and then we can start pulling together some sort of structure to the piece. Yeah, my goodness, I legit feel like I've lost brain cells. Yeah, I think that last piece genuinely might have given me a headache. Like I can still hear it in my brain. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back on Wednesday, working on this. I'm crying so much right now. It was a lot. I'm glad I managed to pick that one. It was just lasered in on the worst possible choice. The little W on the R's is like an early U. Yeah, I don't think I'm okay with that either. Yes, so we're going to be working on more of this. So just in case people weren't here at the beginning of the stream, for the opening of each piece, I want to kind of have a little collage of lots of people saying the word tiny, which is going to be kind of the name for this series. So if you would like to be added to that voice, to that opening piece, you can upload your audio to that link there. I'll be doing that at some point. Basically, if there's a delay in getting interviews and things, or if there's a night where either I finished early or I don't really have anything new for the stream, then I'll edit that little sound piece together. Any preference as to how we say it? Not at all. Record it as quietly or as loudly or as animated as you like. Don't do the voice. Don't. Just please don't do the voice of Mr. Screwdriver. Please. I'm asking nicely. Okay, one of you can do the voice. One of you can do the voice, but you have to decide amongst yourselves who it is. Okay? I will turn this car around. You immediately said the collective unconscious. So yeah, so I don't know when I'll be doing that. I can't. I also love how you all decided immediately that it should be Moira. That's very funny to me. Okay. It is good to be back. It is good to be back streaming. It is wonderful to be spending time with you all again and to be making stuff. I think this piece is going to be real interesting. And yeah, somebody asked for more MST3K movie nights. I very much like the idea of doing, like, there was a whole section in the Prillinger archives labeled LGBTQ+, and I'm deeply curious, and I do rather like the idea of not even making a piece around it, just kind of seeing if we can get some tape out of it. Because here's the thing, like when I was doing the piece for Shortcuts last year, I wasn't really looking for that. I was looking more for stuff about gender roles specifically. So it kind of ended up being more about marriage as an institution, which worked for the purposes of the piece. But I do think it would be interesting to kind of watch and kind of see where it goes, see what we find, more out of curiosity than anything else. So we can maybe do that sometime in the future. If not, we can always just have an Internet Archive night and just go looking for weird public information films. There was one I remember ages ago, and it was like, I think it was like it was about like technology of the future. This sort of Phantom of the Opera figure arrives and takes this woman out of her home and shows her all this new stuff. And what ends up happening is there's this moment where she gets overwhelmed, and the voiceover, I swear to God, the voiceover goes, "She's overwhelmed, quick, get her to the kitchen," and it's just wild. Anyway, so yeah, so we'll be making a piece about driving. Over the next month, and we'll be doing more of that on Wednesday. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for coming back. And yeah, strap in for 2025, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And I will hopefully see you all very soon. Good night.